Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Radical Geek live stream Sunday night coffee talk. I see our awesome moderators, Airfry and Auntie and Attila are here, and our subscriber Carrie is here. Mentions having tried some lemon verbena and hibiscus teas before, giving us some facts. We'll have to talk about some of those. So let's see. Oh, and hey, Gretchen, good to see you. And Sharon has joined us. Let's see. And just Jason Keto. Hey, good to see you guys tonight. I know that we'll have a smaller attendance this evening because a lot of our subscribers are at KetoCon in Texas, and we are not. We are here in Ohio still. But hey, so be it. We'll have a nice time. Might be a little short tonight too because I don't have like a real elaborate recipe, but we've got some stuff to talk about here. So hey, and Gigi's here has joined us. Good evening. And Tutu Cute Cat. Nice to see you. So, yes, holding down the fort. You know what? I know a lot of us also join on Friday nights. How about you guys? Did you miss that? I did. And I'm going to start this brewing before we get into the nitty-gritty of it. But I want to show you some of this first. My container is actually almost gone. But pull a little bit of it out so you can see how these look. So they're full herbs, dried herbs. Here's a piece of hibiscus. Well, you can't see that on the camera. What am I thinking? There's a full hibiscus leaf. So it's very fluffy. So it sort of seems like you use a lot of it, but I'm also got a gigantic pot. Oh, and Carrie says the Texas KetoCon's too far away from him for him, or he would have gone. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, and Sharon's been cooking up a storm this weekend. Yeah, I've seen some of your photos. Man, I was envious. I was like, well, I might be making a visit up north. Very tasty. So, but check out like their leaves. This is a whole sage leaf. Oh, there you go. You can see it if I put it in front of my shirt. So, throw some of this in to the pot. Now, unlike our regular tea, since these are just herbs, we do not have to do that washing of the tea. In this case, we actually need a longer, hotter steep to refresh and hydrate the herbs, and then let it infuse into the water. Set this well, we'll figure it out in a minute. I didn't need that after all. So anyways, let's put my lid back on. And what this is Sunrise by Foraged and Sown. It is a hibiscus with pineapple sage, lemon verbena, and lemon thyme. So it's all herbs. And we'll talk more about them as we get going. Now, I'm all out of order. Let's see. Oh, and Carrie is reminding us of his no caffeine journey. Yeah, I know that you don't really do a lot of plants and herbs too, but these probably, it smells so nice, shouldn't impact you in a negative way. So let's see. Let me just concentrate so that I don't pour boiling water everywhere. It is boiling, by the way, the 212 degrees. And we're going to leave this to steep for several minutes. You know, like when we do our teas, it's like 3 to 4 minutes. We're gonna leave this for a good 5, 6, 7 minutes, and that's it just takes longer with the dehydrated herbs to bring them back to life and let that flavor get through. Oh, hey, good evening, Mike. Nice to see you. Oh, and Carrie mentions that the money for tea is kind of is an impact. So I can say yes, buying it like this is pricey, and I do like to support this business because they are local to me. They're an Ohio farm. It's a first-generation woman-owned farm. They have a lot of good farming practices. They practice sustainable farming. They also come out into the communities and do a lot of volunteer work and a lot of other things that go with it. However, you can, I suspect, unfortunately, this didn't happen before yesterday. Yesterday was was Earth Day, and I will say that if you were able to get out and go to like Earth Day celebrations or festivals or other initiatives in your region, a lot of them do actually wind up giving away some seeds and things like that. So that's a good way, because herbs you can keep and grow pretty easily on your own, even indoors. They're not hard to dehydrate either if you want to keep them for longer than that. My mints and stuff are starting to come in, so in the not too far future, we'll make ourselves a nice mint and lavender tea, with fresh herbs, not dried at all. And I'll show you those kind of herbal infusions, and that will help with the economical favor. Let's see who else. Oh, Hungry Heath is here. Oh, you just got back to the Airbnb. You guys is it early enough for dinner for you guys, or not yet? Are you guys just chilling because it's such a busy thing? So anyways, I'm going to set this aside and tell you a little bit more about it after we get other stuff going. So the other thing I'm doing tonight is we're going to do breakfast for dinner. Through the influence of Christy Davis from the Keto Village, they had me craving stuff. Oh, and Just Jason's watching the grill. I did that yesterday. I made my strip steak and it came out just right. Love when that happens, when it's utter perfection. Like, our steaks are usually pretty good, but you know, when you get it like exactly just so. That was yesterday. So I was really thrilled about that. Also very thirsty, so I've got myself one of these polar seltzers. This one's cranberry lime. I don't know, I really enjoy the polar seltzers a lot, but let's see. Yeah. Oh, hey, and the warden is here too. Just got also, well, I mean, obviously, they just got back to the Airbnb. So, for those of you who don't know, this is my crepe making griddle. It's an electric griddle. I love this thing and I use it all the time. So, but let's see what we got here. Oh, and Carrie's having keto chow for one of his meals. He says can't say money is the reason since he got another keto chow, but stretching your grocery money. You know what? Hey, that's just it though. Sometimes we have to think about that stuff. There are reasons that I have my nice herb garden where I grow basil, rosemary, dill, thyme. Right now, I'm that neighbor. My yard is lovely. It is full of violets and dandelions. So, you know, we'll have some dandelion greens, which are lovely, all sauteed up or tossed in with salad greens. And the violets are lovely. If you pick them, you can put them in with a little bit of allulose and cook them down into a little lavender syrup. So, not lavender syrup, violet syrup. And that's a interesting taste on it. So, be some, you know, creativity. Of course, you know, I know that our neighbors to either side of us are more used to our weedy lawn now. Across the way, we do have some neighbors who are very lawn picky, and so sometimes I've seen them just standing there looking at our yard and all I can say is I did double check with our township, because one of the things is we know that bees are at risk and things like that. So I made sure, I was like, hey, we're leaving these weeds here intentionally. And they said they haven't had any complaints, but if they did, they're going to ask us to put up a little bee friendly sign. That lets people know that it is intentional. My bee balm, we have bee balm that started to come in. They're about this tall. I was really worried I was going to lose it because we had a late freeze. So, let's see. Okay, and Hungry He says they'll probably go to dinner after I log off. They bought barbecue from Black's last night in preparation for dinner tonight. That sounds good. I love barbecue. And then Carrie is giving us some of our awesome puns. So wordplay. Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up here. Let's see. Oh, and Air Frying Annie is volunteering to make me a waterproof bee friendly sign. Nice. I appreciate that. But so far we seem to be fine. And I will say also on one side of my driveway where we had like grass and a big spruce pine, it's time for me to start clearing it out and cleaning it up because the mint has started to come in, and it started to escape. So you know, mint is really invasive, so I really have to fight it and to keep it in its container, because what I have done, I say container, but it's not a container. What we did there was we killed the grass, and then we put down the weed repeller, which doesn't do anything at all, just so you know, in case you're ever interested. The weed sheets does nothing. All the weeds and grass come right in, so we have to remove all that again, and then we'll put another layer of mulch. But what we have done is we made like rectangle designs with the bricks. We made a large rectangle around the spruce pine, and in each of those little brick rectangles, I put in one side, I've got the traditional mint, and on the other side I have my lemon verbena. In another rectangle we've got lavender, and now we've had the lavender for several years, and people forget to tell you that you do have to replace lavender plants periodically. So they're due for replacing. They had gotten really gigantic and unwieldy, and then last year a deer came through and ate a bunch of it, and they just didn't quite they weren't quite that healthy. So this year I'll put new lavender plants in. But it's literally one of my favorites because the bees love to get into the mint and the lavender, and when the lavender blooms, I trim what I want off of it. But like with the big long stems, I love it because the bees land there and you can see them like swaying in the lavender. It's fantastic. Sometimes after they've gone through our mint and lavender and bee balm, it's kind of cute because they get, I don't really know what it's called when that happens, but they get tired. And sometimes, so we have a brick, and it has our brick on our wall is a style that they did in the 70s where they didn't smooth it out. Instead, it has like the shoot, I can't remember the stuff, you know, the somebody fill me in with the word, the stuff that goes between the bricks. It's not grout. Grout is for tile, but you know what I mean. But instead of smoothing it all out, it's got squished and given it like a lot of texture. So sometimes bees will land on that and like rest. Sometimes it freaks people out sometimes because they think that the bees are dead, and no, they're just napping, and before they can take all that pollen home. Oh, hey, Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto. Good to see you. So I'm going to turn my griddle on, and I need you guys to be pre-warned. Mortar, that's the word. Thanks, Sharon. Do you have that sometimes, just something that you know and you say with regularity and it just like goes away? Yeah, that was me today, right now. So anyways, I have my 2 measuring cups. We are going to make noise, so I apologize for that in advance, but it is what it is. I've got 3 eggs. So just so you know, I'm making breakfast for dinner, and this is because Indigo Neely's egg wraps, which we've made crepes on here, egg crepes all many times, but they've been making the rounds again in a couple different groups, and I said, well, you know what? Seeing the pictures of people making them again made me want some and made me want my breakfast. So I said, we'll do it again because not everybody has seen them made, and a lot of people have only seen them made with the egg white powder. being rehydrated with water. And so there were lots of questions about what about when you're using fresh eggs. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, hey, Renee's joined us. And let's see, I saw, let's see, some Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto has mentioned it's been a very busy weekend. It sure has. And let's see, it's Susan. Hey, good to see you again. And let's see. So just some hellos back and forth. And so here's the nice thing though. We're going to separate these eggs. But because we're not making egg white bread or anything like that, you don't have to be super fussy. If it busts and you get a little bit of yolk in there, it's fine. It works just fine. But we're going to cook our yolk separate. So don't mind me while we separate these eggs and hope that I don't screw it up. These are, by the way, Nellie's eggs. So, and I find like the egg whites in the Nellie's eggs are super sturdy. So let's see what we got going on. And of course my griddle is smoking. So I probably didn't need to turn it on as early as I did, but it is what it is. So set this aside. Actually, I'm going to give my hands a little rinse here. Well, a full-on wash, soap and everything. I just, some egg got on it, and I don't like raw egg on my hands. So, and yes, for the record, I am one of those people who, when I'm cooking, likes to wash my hands like 20 times. And now that we are here in the kitchen, instead of wearing gloves and changing them 4 or 5 times, we're definitely we're full on into just regular hand washing. Let's see. I'm trying to see. By the way, I'm struggling to see again, and just so you know, I actually did go to the optometrist. I have a whole new prescription coming, but we're going on 2 weeks now, and so we're really hoping that they come in soon. They are going to be progressives, which he said would help me with reading the screen. Oh, exchange student too. Good evening. Good to see you. It feels like it's been a while, even though I know it hasn't been. Oh, good evening, Brenda. Oh, and Brenda had leftover chuck roast in an egg wrap with cheese. Yes, we're going to use some fillings. And Carrie says when he makes his eggs in the morning, he makes a flat egg when he can beat them like he's going to make them scrambled and then just make it flat. That sounds interesting. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some salt and pepper to the egg yolks. That's for later. Oh, Air Fried Annie says she loves her progressive. It's so much easier when she's crafting. That is my #1 thing. I can't see when my stitches as well. It's hard to read. I'm fine if I need to look way off in the distance while I'm driving, but it's just ridiculous. Everything is blurry. That was too much salt. Okay. And then I'm going to add in here to my eggs a generous salting. And then the last ingredient that I'm going to add to the egg whites is 1 scoop, which is 10 grams, or about a tablespoon of unflavored grass-fed beef gelatin. If you don't have grass-fed beef gelatin, any gelatin will work. I don't know about agar-agar. I haven't tried it, which maybe I should, and so that I can give you guys a good reporting on that. Set this aside. And here's where the noise is going to come in. We're going to do two things. I mix my yolks up so we can set them aside. And that's all you have to do. There's nothing special about the egg yolks. We're just actually just going to use them tonight for the interior of my breakfast. You can use anything you want with your egg yolks, but just so you guys know, I cut up a couple slices of bacon into little pieces for crumbs, and I have some jalapeno goat cheese. So we'll be using those. Let's time for tea. So I'm going to take these out. Just let that. The smell is amazing, by the way. And I want to thank you, Carrie, for the facts, because you like helping me out here. It's like all the stuff that I have planned to say. And now I will tell you, you can see that it is a very light in color. That's because it's not tea, it's herbs, but it's not with zero color. It's got a nice golden color to it. It is so nice and so nice to, and very relaxing. It's an excellent experience. One second. Oh, let's see. Air Fry and Auntie says her mom called her the other day and had ruined 5 eggs, she said, trying to separate them for a recipe. So, had to find an easier recipe. What was she making? I'm just curious. Oh, an exchange student too? You know what? I was going to do the giveaway on my Cheese Friday, but when I realized that everyone was going to be gone and at KetoCon, I decided to just hold off a couple more days and we will announce the winner on Tuesday. I think that seems fair because we want people to be able to see it, you know, right away. And oh, I'm losing my mind, you guys. So, all right, what I'm going to do now, this is the loud and annoying part for the live stream. You can mix this with a fork, but can I just tell you, it is a pain in the backside. Because the gelatin likes to get lumpy and it'll stick in here and I'll have to clear some of it out. So I apologize that we're going to have a loud blending sound. I'm going to move it back over here by the sink, so hopefully it won't be quite as bad. But let me know if it's too much and I'll just deal with it. But that's it. The gelatin and the salt and pepper, and the salt is all you need in here. Egg whites, gelatin, and salt. So, all right, it's a little high pitched. It's gonna make my dog bark, so we're gonna stop and just go ahead and mix it in. So, Dyson hates when anything beeps or blends. Blending is like the Dyson trigger for really terrible things. But, so I got a couple little gelatin lumps I'm going to press out here with my little spatula. And we're just going to let this sit for a second to thicken up a little more. Given my druthers, I might have even blended it. I see there's one large lump. There we go. But what will happen is your egg whites will be slightly frothy, but not a ton. And the gelatin will cohese with it. Oh, and Carrie says the noise wasn't that bad. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know why I worry about it, because I do see in other streams it's not that bad when they have to blend or use the food processor. But for some reason, because it's loud here with me, I worry about it. So, strictly a Maitreya thing. I'm looking for gelatin lumps. There's one. Just want to mush it out. I'm just going to take that one out. All right, so that's basically it. Now, when I see on Indigo Neely, she's using a fair amount of ghee and butter on hers, and I thought I had to do that too initially. I really did think it was like a huge deal, but as it turns out, I don't have to. I do like the taste of some butter on my griddle though. And so I'm just going to take a little slice here on my paper towel and apply it to my griddle. And that is more for the flavor profile than anything else. I actually found that they were perfectly fine on my electric griddle here without doing that. But again, flavor, right? So I wish I could show you this a little bit better, but you can see there's the egg whites and it's a little bit thicker. I have my crepe tools because that's what we're going to use. And I'm just going to pour, this will make 2 large ones. And if you have some little gelatin lumps, don't worry about it because gelatin can melt with the heat. So we're just going to spread it around. I do have some larger lumps. I probably should have blended it some more, but I didn't want to make Dyson bark so much. But oh well. And we're just spreading this around to cook it off. It helps us with the shaping. And you'll see what will happen is as we spread it, this is going to come together. And then we will flip it over and make our crepe, or if you want to call it a tortilla, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But the main reason we're continuing to spread this now is not necessarily for size, but so that we can help it spread across the surface to get the cook going on it. So not perfectly round, but that's all right. And then I like to rinse my little spatula off. I suspect that it makes no difference if I rinse it off or not, but it's just my preference. Exchange Student 2 says she's going to make keto chow waffles. I love waffles. By the way, that rinsing is usually enough to get this cooked. But boom. And there we go. Just give that a second. And what I have behind me on my stove is a little baker's rack. So when this is done cooking, I'll just we'll set it aside over there. We'll go ahead and make both crepes. Let's see. I'm trying to look back a little bit. Oh, and Sharon says she has one of the small metal egg separators. Works great for the days when their fingers are not happy. Yeah, I'm often just too lazy to get my little sieve down. But that's the other thing that we do. Let's see. Oh, and Gretchen says if I held the blending up into the microphone, that might be more of a problem. Yep, you're right. I won't do that. So, Tutu Q Cats asked me about the gadget. Are you talking about this one, this little crepe spreader? That's literally what it is. It's a crepe spreader. I don't know what it's actually called, but that's what it's for. And these often come with crepe makers. It's actually not the best tool for it, but it's the one that came with my electric griddle, so it is the one I'm going to use. So I lift this off so you guys can see it. So it's very hot, so I think I'm going to set it down and then I'll show you, because one side comes out more crepe looking and the other side comes out more tortilla looking. That's because it's the egg white, but I'm going to stop burning my hands is what I'm going to do. There's always a little bit of something on the griddles as you cook, so I just move that to the side. Give my egg whites another little mix. I think I may have poured too much the first time, and now this one will be smaller, but whatever. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So, but that is how easy these are to make. So I know a lot of people get intimidated. So I just wanted to show you guys once more time, literally very little effort. So the other good thing about this is that I didn't need, other than the fact that I have fancy gelatin, no special ingredients needed. Because you can, I know that people don't talk about having Knox gelatin, but the main difference is that Knox gelatin is pork and the gelatin I have is a beef sourced. There are multiple sources of gelatin. There's a fish gelatin. So if you, and none of it has a flavor like the animal it's sourced from. It's just personal preference. So, Anyways, I'm not known for the best shaping ever, but it seems to work out just fine for me. We don't need them to be perfectly shaped. So, let's see. And Carrie says he thinks making crepes is cool, so yeah. Let's see. Oh, Air Fry Nanny says that Google confirms crepe spreader is the correct term. So, this one stuck just a little smidge because I'm impatient and didn't wait. When it sticks, you should just stop and give it a second and it'll be fine and lift right up. But am I doing that? No, I cannot wait that long. Because as you can see, this takes forever. Not at all. So being impatient is probably silly on my behalf, but it doesn't matter. It's going in the same place. Sharon says she's made the same one and they are very good. I think they are great. I actually, most of the time that we've made them on these channel, I've made them the whole eggs. But today we're going to cook the yolks separate from the whites. There's no gelatin in my yolks. It's just, we're just using it. So let's have some of this. Oh, air frying Annie, that sounds disgusting. Air frying Annie shared with us that she looked for an egg separator online and found one that looks like a face with a big nose and the whites are supposed to drip out of the nose. Oh, no. That just reinforces the snot aspect of eggs, of runny yolk, I'm sorry, the snot factor of runny whites to me. And that is a hard limit for me. Absolutely not. Oh, Carrie, that's pretty funny. Yes, Carrie said that because I'm a doctor, I should have a lot of patience. But, you know, with that play on word for patience, I love it. All right, so now it is sticking because I've got my griddle. I'm struggling here. There we go. I don't know why it's sticking. It hasn't traditionally been sticking, and today it is. Probably because I am not being patient and I didn't put any fat down. There we go. It won't stick if you are patient, Maitreya. But are we patient? No. But I can touch this one that's been cooling. So I'm going to come around and show you the two different sides so that you know what I'm talking about by one side has a tortilla kind of look to it. I'm too short, I can't see. Whoops, that was too close to the camera. So it has like those brown, and then the other side has more of a crepe look. So I have no idea if you could see that texture or not because I was behind the screen and I was trying to look, but it wasn't working. So anyways, I'm going to set that on my plate here now that it has cooled down. What did I just do with my spatula? It's way over here. I don't want these extra crispy bits in my omelet part, so I'm just going to scrape it off here. The nice thing is look how easy this is to tidy up. There we go. And because I love butter, as do we all, I presume, I'm going to throw a little bit more down on this griddle before I pour those yolks on here. So, and all I'm doing here is making a little bit of a flat egg yolk omelet. Which is funny because it's sort of like just making the crepe, but because there's no gelatin, it's just the fatty egg yolk in the butter. And I'm going to go ahead and spread this once it gets I'm going to turn the griddle down a little bit as well. Does not need to be as hot as the actual crepe. So, and like I said, this is just egg yolk, salt, and pepper. You can put whatever you want in your eggs. Maybe some everything bagel seasoning would be nice. Could be all kinds of stuff. I agree. The yolk is the good part of the egg. And at this point, I'm going to do two things. Get under here. See, unlike the whites, the yolk has a lot of fat in it. And so now it's like, please don't tear. There we go. It's good to go. I'm going to put my goat cheese down. Got a little bit of a spread here. I'm going to fold it up so it doesn't really matter that much, but the heat will come through and help it get that luscious meltiness. Goodness, you guys, I'm being messy today. Throw down my bacon. Bring my wrap and just go ahead and give it a mash down. So let's see. Yeah, actually they actually are store-bought eggs, but they're bougie store-bought eggs. BJ's carries eggs from Nellie's farm, and those are how delightful they are. Oh, let's see. But yeah, I love good eggs. So let's see. What do we got here? Oh, and Carrie says the crepe will be bad with the goat cheese. So yeah, like I said, you can put anything you want. If you don't eat cheese, don't put cheese in there. Add some more bacon or, you know, some little steak slivers. Could be all kinds of whatever you want in there. And at this point, it's all nice and oozy. So you can roll it up into a nice little breakfast burrito. Turn my griddle off. Ta-da! And I almost dropped it on the floor. That would have been a horrible disaster, right? So we caught it. I've got my creamy goat cheese, which I'm going to scrape back off. I have to wash my hands again because now I've touched goat cheese. Fortunately, and then just so you know, like with this electric griddle, I like to let it cool down. I'll wipe it off. I'll take a little bit of a moist, sorry Renee, a lightly wet towel with some soap and give it a little wipe down, and then come through with the plain water and clean it all up. Takes less than like 3 minutes to get it all set away. And let's see, Air Fry Nanny says her omelets always end up as scrambles, so she likes the crepe idea but would probably have the same result. Honestly, if I had actually just brought my plate over here like a normal person and not used my skinny crepe spatula to try and lift the entire burrito over, or omelet, or whatever you want to call it, wrap, it would have been fine. But you know. Hey, Just Jen, nice to see you. I'm so excited. Oh, and Jen mentions, of course, if I had dropped it on the floor, it would not have been a disaster for Dyson. True enough, he would have been very happy, but I would not. So, but yeah, so hey, it was only on the edge of the plate and on my counter, which I clean. Even if it's already clean, right before the live stream, I get fussy and I'm like, oh, I don't, in case there's a crumb, I don't want people to see dirt on my counter, and so I like frantically clean it again, which is silly, but you know, it is what it is. So let me cut this open. so that you can see the inside, just all nicely rolled up. You guys, the jalapeno goat cheese smells fantastic. So it's like a jalapeno popper in there. I'm going to get a bite from the middle first because that's where all of the squishy cheesiness. Perfect. Just right. The bacon and the goat cheese and the tang from there. It's great. And like I said, I do have this other crepe, and it is still bendy, pliable. I'll put it in a Ziploc in the bag, and then tomorrow morning it'll be ready to go, unless I decide that I'm going to throw some butter on it and throw it back on to heat up after the live stream because I'm still hungry. But yeah, so I really have to say Indigo Neely knocked it out of the park with adding the gelatin to the eggs. And like I said, I know that it was originally done with the egg white powder, but the whole eggs work exactly right. So the wrap does not, I mean, it doesn't taste eggy at all. It's actually just like the Egg Life wraps where it's completely neutral. If you make it where you use the whole eggs with the gelatin, then it definitely has an egg taste. So, and of course, just egg yolks all by themselves. Yeah, of course. You know, egg yolks taste like egg. Our friend Annie, you don't have a weird palate. Everybody has preferences. So, but if you can eat an Egg Life wrap, then you'll be able to eat the egg wraps no problem. The homemade ones. And Mike says a keto breakfast crepe roll up. Very nice. I agree. Actually, I think these are tasty enough that I think non-keto people could eat them, but maybe it would be an awful fatty, but I think we eat a lot of fat anyway, so. So to tell you a little bit more about this tea. Ooh, an exchange student who made more deviled eggs today. Okay, so, and you're not a fan of the Egg Life wraps. I will say that these are better texturally. So, hey, Hoofinette, nice to see you. So we'll be backing up to catch the beginning. Yeah, so, yeah, because we've been talking about the herbal tea. So, the thing about this, and Carrie gave some of the facts about this, but I wanted to tell you, so it has hibiscus. Hibiscus, on its own, can be very, very tart. And it can upset some tummies if you have just hibiscus all by itself steeped in, because it's bitter and strong. But lightly blended in with the other herbs is really delightful, and it can help aid in some digestion. So that's highly recommended. The lemon verbena has a lot of vitamin C in it. It also helps and aids in digestion. It has antioxidants, and a lot of people say it helps them relax. We'll say there's 0 caffeine in this, so if you are sensitive to caffeine, a blend like this will certainly help. And then it has, it says it has pineapple sage, which is just a sage variant. You can use whatever sage you want. Sage has the same nutritional properties. But what sage has in it is high in vitamin C. It has vitamin D and B complex. So those are all things too. B complex is very important if you eat keto, because we can often easily go deficient in your B complex. So I know most of the time if you have fatigue, we talk about you need your electrolytes. But if the electrolytes aren't helping you, and you feel like you've had lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of electrolytes and everything tastes super, super salty, try your B complex, especially B12. And then it also has lemon thyme. Lemon thyme, again, is another antioxidant. It also helps aid in digestion. I will also tell you that the sage, the lemon verbena, and the thyme are all considered anti-inflammatory herbs. So uh, if you are susceptible or you have a lot of swelling going on, that combined with whatever medication your doctor gives you will probably give you that nice little helping hand. Full disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. That's why I say make sure you talk to your doctor. You should always talk to your doctor about herbs and things that you eat in case they do interact with medications or other things that you have. I mean, for the most part, sage and thyme and lemon verbena and hibiscus are generally pretty neutral and across the board, but it's always good to double check with your medical professionals. Oh, and Carrie says he's getting an electrolyte drops from Keto-Chow in the big bottle. Nice. Yeah, we're giving away the capsule, so again, it's 2 Cheese Fridays ago. You still have a chance because I delayed it for the KetoCon goers so that we can make sure that there's an adequate opportunity for winners to reply. And as Attila points out, I am a doctor, just not that kind of doctor. Correct. Fair enough. I am a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. So I'm taking another great big old bite here. So, the goat cheese really helps and sets it off. It's really highlighted. So, and I'm loving it. Just so you know, the goat cheese that I got is actually that Dapper goat, which was introduced to me by Hungry Heath and the Warden last year at not KetoCon. You know, where are we all going in October? Keto Palooza. And we actually had it on Cheese Friday there. We actually made like a whole tasting of goat cheeses, and it was so good. So we don't get the Dapper Goat brand in this area very often, so it really thrilled me. You can mail order it, but Texas to Ohio is a long trip, and they have to put ice packs to keep it frozen. So we have a lot of really good creameries here, so it's a special treat when we can find it. And then Attila says, technically, I could give people advice that you should just take the day off and read. Yeah, but that might be unnecessarily snarky, because if I say it, it would be snarky. And then he says, technically, I could tell work I have a doctor's excuse. I don't know if that would fly very well with my boss. He'll just give it right back to me. I did say technically correct is the best kind of correct the other day at work, though, to much laughter. Carrie says the goat cheese in a suit to be a Dapper Goat brand. Yes, it does have like a little monocle, so it's a hilariously delicious cheese. So the other thing I was going to tell you about Foraged and Sown. Unfortunately, if you are not in Ohio, I don't know if they would be mail ordering seedlings, but I did talk to them this weekend at the farmer's market, and they are hoping to have their seedlings out and ready to sale next week. They have them listed for sale where you can reserve them on their website right now, foragedandsown.com. I was super excited because last year, while I had the peppers that I really enjoyed, I also didn't have any poblanos, which not everything has to be complete fire to make me happy. I love poblanos. They are really great for stuffing. They add a lot of nice flavor into foods. They've got like a toasty chili flavor that I really enjoy. And they've got poblanos on their seedling list. So I'm super looking forward to that. I think they'll have most of the things that I want to pick up for my little garden here. And yesterday we were able to finish cleaning up the tree that fell except for the stump. The stump we've still got to get out of the yard. So that was good because things were getting a little bit jungly back there. Let's see. Oh, and Air Fry Nanny says a friend just canceled plans and she should be sad, but she's also having the introvert celebration currently. You know what? Even when you're an extrovert, sometimes things get to be too much and you do need to go ahead and just like step back. And it is like, phew. I mean, I was going to go, but I'm really glad that it canceled. So kudos for recognizing that it is going to feel good for you to have a night in. So hopefully you can get some relaxation. That is the other thing too that they say about a lot of these herbs, especially the lemon verbena and the thyme, is that they say will help you relax and wind down. Sometimes they say anti-anxiety, and I just hesitate to do that because I feel like that is getting too far into the medical recommendations. So, but you know, if you like to try things for that, go for it. And if it helps you, for me, just the aromas kind of help me mellow down a little bit because it makes me stop and slow down and pay attention because I enjoy it. So, let's see. So, I know it is a little bit early, but I am ravenous. Oh, and Brenda says they're doing a hay bale garden again this year. It worked out really well last year, but it's too early to plant. Yes, it is early. Like I said, we just had that freeze earlier this week. I'm really hoping that our little trees that are still babies make it. Like they're okay at the bottom, but like the top part, I think we're gonna have to cut it off on our lacy Japanese tree. It just the top part has one big piece that doesn't look too good. Let's see. Oh, and Sharon says the St. Louis rib tips are done, very tender, but not a lot of smoke flavor. Tried a new wood pellet. Oh, which wood pellets did you try? I usually use Bear Mountain. However, I also like Lumberjack, and the surprise of the season last year was the Kirkland Costco wood pellets. Those pellets were actually quite delightful, and so if they come back this year, I will definitely buy the Kirkland ones at Costco. They were pretty cheap, which made me worry because I know that they had Traeger and in the store, so I was worried that they were partnering with Traeger for the pellets. And I do not like Traeger wood pellets. I think that they are too hard. I know that sounds weird, but I don't like the way they are grinding in the auger. And I do think that the one time that I got desperate and had to use the Traeger pellets, I had an auger jam. So I just really don't love them. I also felt like I didn't get the best flavor out of the Traeger pellets. So those are definitely my preference. Oh, and Air Fried Annie says she had some afternoon Darjeeling tea. She's never had it, so she'll have to give it a try. Oh yeah, Darjeeling is a really nice tea. And Renee says they're having a brisket, sausage, and ribs. The barbecue from Black's down there at KetoCon. That sounds great. So with that, let's see. I was telling you about Foraged and Sown, and I already told you about the vitamins in the tea, which are a nice supplement. It's a great way to get a little lightweight supplement. So, let's see. And Exchange Student 2 is saying she's asking if anyone has a brand recommendation for dark cocoa. It's not dark cocoa. For my regular cocoa powder, I order from Anthony's. And I like it the best. I like it better than Hershey's. I even like it better than the Ghirardelli, which I can't always get. Now but I can't remember if it's the dark cocoa or not. And then the black cocoa, I can't remember the brand name. I would have to go look it up, but I just ordered it off of Amazon. So, okay, the black cocoa powder. So I'll have to look up the brand that I get and I will post it in the comment section here for you. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and log off for the evening. It's also really stupid hot in my kitchen because spilled some things in the bottom of the oven, so I'm running the cleaning cycle. And it's been like really cold in here because it was in the high 30s and then just barely went up over the 40. So we thought what a great time to run the cleaner then, get that taken care of. But now it is very warm in the kitchen. So I'm gonna go eat my dinner, and I hope that you guys have an awesome time. And oh, Carrie, no problem. We've had some herbal things in the past, so we'll show you a few more. But oh, not black cocoa, just dark cocoa. You guys will have to let me know about the cocoa. I'll just share the links to all the different cocos that I like. So how's that sound? Good night, everyone. You have a great evening. Bye bye.